Okay, guys, I think we're live.
Yes, we are.
So, welcome everyone to the second meeting of our book club. And as you guys know, today we're going to be chatting about Beach Read by Emily Henry. If you guys haven't been here before, we do a non-spoiler portion first. So if you haven't read the book, you can kind of join in and hear our thoughts. And then we do a spoilery section afterwards. But a couple things before we get started. First of all, I wanted to address that we changed the name of our book club. So we used to be the Hogsmeade Literary Society, and now we're the Tea Leaves Book Club. And we changed our name because of some very harmful and transphobic things that J.K. Rowling said on Twitter. And we didn't want this to be a space that anyone felt uncomfortable in. So we decided to change our name. I don't know if you guys wanted to chime in, add anything to that.
No, that's basically it.
Yeah, you explained it very well.
yeah, we have more information on our social media as well if you guys want to read more about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, of course, Black Lives Still Matter. We have all the links in the description box, so please check those out and donate and sign petitions if you can. So yeah, I think now we can go ahead and get started. So let's start just with introducing ourselves since it's our second meeting. We might have some new people. So I'm Sophia, obviously. This is the channel Sophia Reads. I read a big combination of like all kinds of books, all kinds of genres, adult, young adult, I'm all over the place. And I make just like traditional booktube videos like wrap-ups and TBRs and all that good stuff. So who wants to go next?
Hillary, do you want to go since you're kind of like the host for this month?
Sure. So I'm Hillary. I am from the Melted Books channel, and like Sophia, I do pretty much standard booktube videos, TBRs, wrap-ups, some tag videos, a little bit of vlogging, not so much, but I'm trying a little bit more. And I read pretty widely. I read a lot of nonfiction, contemporaries, YA, thrillers. Yeah.
Mary?
Okay, shall I go next?
Yeah, sorry.
Pass it over to Mary.
Okay, yeah. I'm Mary from the channel Mary Among Stories. I also try to read a little bit of mostly everything, I would say, but my favorites are usually classics, fantasy, and historical fiction. On my channel, what I like to film the most, I think, are reading vlogs. But I also do the other style of videos, I guess, like TBRs and recommendations and reviews and everything. So, yeah.
Yay! Hi, I'm Sarah from Sarah the Dreamer. I also read pretty widely. My favorite genre, I would say, is probably fantasy. But yeah, I read a lot of stuff, and I do also pretty much the standard booktube videos. So, yay!
All right. Okay, so now we're going to go into just like a brief non-spoilery synopsis and some trigger warnings for the book. So this is an adult romance, I guess, women's fiction. I don't like that title, so I'll call it a romance. And it's about one of them writes like romance novels, the other one writes kind of like intense literary fiction, and they decide to switch genres and write the other genre. And then, of course, there's a romance between the two of them. In terms of trigger warnings, not a whole lot in this book, but there's death of a loved one and definitely cancer as well. Anything else that you guys wanted to add to the synopsis or trigger warnings?
I think those are the main ones.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much the synopsis. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. So now it's the fun part, because I don't know what you guys thought at all, so I'm excited to hear. We're each going to go around and talk about like our general non-spoilery thoughts and what we rated the book. So, Mary, do you want to go ahead and go first?
Oh my God.
Sorry.
No, I can go, yeah. Okay, I previously said I tried to read a bit of everything. Romance is not one of those things. So this was a very interesting experience for me, and I actually ended up enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would. I ended up rating it 3.5 stars. So it was a pretty fun read to me. I had a very good time reading it. I actually finished it in 2 sittings, which it doesn't happen. Yeah, it never happens with me.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun reading it. It is quite addictive, honestly. I kept wanting to read it. My main issue with it, I would say, was I had a few issues with the writing style because there were some expressions that were repeated a lot and a few sentences that didn't exactly make sense. But I will get more into it later. But other than that, I mean, I thought it was a bit predictable. But I mean, it was loads of fun. I really liked it, and I would recommend it actually, like as a fun, light read for summer. I really enjoyed it. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, who wants to go next?
I can go. I don't mind.
Okay, go ahead.
So yeah, pretty much I have similar thoughts as Mary. I did think that some parts were kind of predictable, sorry, but overall I found this book like just so entertaining and just so fun to read. And like we talked a little bit earlier before the live show, I listened to the audiobook and I was actually listening to it like on my way to and from work every day. And I was so ready to leave work every day so that I could go in the metro and just listen to the book because it was just so much fun. And I was just like, okay, I need to know what is going to happen. Some parts were a little bit maybe like too cliche for me, which I was expecting, honestly, because it's a romance book, but that I'm saying that to say like that the genre itself is dumb, but also sometimes tropes can be repeated pretty often. And yes, I just really loved it. I love the characters. I love their dynamic and their banter. Like it was just so funny. Like the back and forth between them was absolutely hilarious. And also they would get themselves into like those like insane situations that just didn't make any sense and were completely ridiculous. But I loved every single second of it. Like I was just like, this would never happen to me in real life, but I'm just like dying. Like I was in the metro just laughing to myself. So it was definitely just so much fun and I really, really enjoyed it. Also, it kind of surprised me sometimes with how like deep it would get, I want to say, because like some parts were like very emotional and I was just like I was feeling a lot for the characters. So yeah, that was just a lot of fun and I just really, really, really enjoyed it. So I give it like 4 out of 5 stars. Just because there were like certain parts that I was not such a big fan of, mainly the end. I'm gonna talk about it later.
Okay.
Spoilery section. Yeah, but overall, really, really, really enjoyed it, and it was so much fun.
All right, Hillary, you're up. I'm saving myself for the last one.
Give you more time to decide on your rating. Yeah, so I also loved it. I thought that this was just a really fun romp and like a perfect beach read, I guess. Although I guess one of my main criticisms is that I didn't know that this would take place in Michigan. And so that was unexpected to me. I don't remember reading that anywhere. So I was thinking that this would be like on a tropical beach. Not that really affected the rest of the story, but going into it, I was like, oh, okay, so we're like in the northern cold US.
I thought it was going to be tropical.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Oh my God.
But that aside, I did rate it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I agree that it was predictable, but that's one of the things that I really love about contemporary romance because I just, you want to get them together and like, that certain things will happen and you think that roadblocks will come up. So you sort of anticipate those. I don't want to say too much before we get to the spoiler portion, but I loved the premise. I thought that the characters were pretty well developed. And I did end up liking the setting once I got used to it. My major criticism, without trying to give away too much detail, is that I thought that the mood of the book was sort of like up and down in terms of really lighthearted stuff and then really serious stuff. So it was a little bit of like a roller coaster ride, but yeah, I overall really liked it. Yay!
All right, so now I have to decide.
Anymore.
So overall, I also really enjoyed the book. I think I was going back and forth on my rating between 3.5 and 4 stars, but I think I'm going to give it 3.5. Again, it was just like such a charming, like happy read for most of it, and I just really loved reading it. I looked forward to listening to it. I also did the audiobook. I guess my main criticisms were it did feel very tropey, and like I say that with some hesitation because tropes are there because people like they're popular things that people like reading about. So I don't want to say like a romance book shouldn't have tropes. But there were quite a few like kind of predictable ones, like the game in a romance, like the hate to love, the like bad boy who's like not really. There was a lot of that.
Yeah.
And then there was some miscommunication stuff that drove me nuts because I'm one of those people, like if two people are in a relationship and it's dragged out because they can't talk to each other, that like really grates on me. But
Yeah, me too.
but overall, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It was perfect, like a perfect summary read. I thought this was a great time to read it. And yeah.
Yeah.
So any other non-spoilery things you guys want to chat about?
I feel like we're probably going to circle back to some of those thoughts like during the spoilery section, but I do have to agree about the miscommunication. That's something that I didn't mention, and that also completely drives me crazy. Whenever there is any of it like in a book, because I'm just like, just talk to each other. But somehow in that one, I felt like most of the time when they were not communicating, it either made sense for the character, because let's be real, like it was mainly one of them, and also I felt like it was kind of like understandable. Like I could understand why like one of the character was just like, okay, I don't want to talk about it right now. Like I could kind of get it. So I feel like it was kind of frustrating sometimes, but it was also kind of part of the game for me. Like it was kind of fun. Just like it would keep me on my toes, is what I would say.
I agree.
Yeah. But I do agree that like at some point I was just like, okay, can you just talk to one another and just sort things out? Because like this is getting way too stressful for both of you. Like I feel sorry for you. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else anyone else wants to add before we jump into spoilers? Okay. All right, bye non-spoiler people.
Yes. If there are any of you, run.
Get out of here.
All right. So what we did last time, which I think worked well, was I have a little jar of questions, and I just pull a question, then we all chat about it. And then, of course, if there are other things like that we want to add, if we're getting close to the hour point that I haven't pulled out of here, we'll stop like a little early so that we have a chance to chat about all that stuff too. So let's start with the first one.
Oh my God.
I love this part.
Okay, so the first one is rate the first sentence. And I don't actually remember what the first sentence of this book
Me neither.
was.
I have absolutely no idea.
Oh, wow. The first sentence.
What is it, Mary? Please read it.
It is, I have a fatal flaw. There you go.
Well,
Oh, yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Sarah.
I mean, it starts with a bang. What can we say?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really say too much about what's going on.
Right.
So for sure. It's very cryptic.
But I mean, it is intriguing because you wonder, what flaw? What are you talking about?
What is it?
What does it mean? Yeah.
Also, I feel like it really fits with January's character because she's like such I mean, at that point in her life, she's so cynical. So like it kind of fits, which is very funny.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah. So how do we rate that though? Like I feel like it doesn't say anything. How do we? I mean, there's nothing to rate, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like a 3. I don't know, 3.5 star.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I really liked the first few pages. Like I thought that established like the tone really well because it was like I don't know, like funny, a little sarcastic, but like I don't know. I thought that the first part really drew me in overall.
I agree.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so overall, we generally like the first sentence.
Yeah. I mean, it's a solid one. It doesn't tell you too much. It also gives you a little bit, and then you start reading the rest, and you're just like, oh, okay, like I get it.
Yeah,
it fits. Okay, next one. I like feel nervous when I pick these. I don't know why. Okay.
Sophia, actually, I have a jar as well before I ask you about hostess. So if you want, we could like alternate or whatever.
That would be awesome.
Oh my
God,
I love that.
One?
Sure. Okay.
I didn't like what I picked, so I want you to pick the next one.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
so prepared. I
Well, I
love
hope
it.
this isn't the same question. Would you read this author again?
Ooh.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Am I
think
re-
so.
Oh, sorry.
I think I would.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
it wouldn't be my first choice because it's not my usual genre. But I mean, if I'm in the mood for something light and fun, yeah, sure. I think so.
Am I right to say that this author, like, this is their first romance, or did
I
have they
don't
written?
know.
I think I actually looked it up afterwards because when I finished it, I was just like, okay, did she write anything else? Because I want to read it.
Yeah.
And I looked it up, and she wrote mostly, I think, YA. If
Okay.
I'm not mistaken, I think it was pretty much only that. So like kind of like YA contemporary.
Gotcha. Okay.
Or maybe like one middle grade or something like that. But I think it was maybe like her first adult romance, but maybe I'm completely wrong.
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't recognize for this book.
Me neither.
But,
Yeah.
No, I had never heard of her before. Like, like sometimes I don't read a lot of romance, but I hear about other writers, but I had never heard of her before. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I would read another one of her books. I liked her writing style overall, and I was intrigued, so I think I'd pick another one up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
All fans. Okay. All right, I'm gonna pick another one. Oh, okay. Well, this one's not going to work for us. I'm going to pick another one because it was like, how does this compare to the author's other books? But I don't think I know
okay.
anything else for her. Okay.
No.
Let's try another one.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Oh, this will be really fun. What was your favorite part or scene of the book?
Oh my god.
Okay. I have a serious one and like a funny one.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, the funny one. Can we talk about how there's one chapter called The Dream?
Yeah.
And it is just, I dreamed about Gus and woke up needing a shower. And that's it.
Oh, yes! Oh my god! I remember that part from the audiobook.
Yeah.
Like, I was just sitting down and I was like, oh, okay. I was just like, okay, relatable. It's fine.
Yeah, that made me laugh. I was like, okay, sure. Next one.
That's a really good one.
Yeah. Yeah, I have another one, but if anyone wants to share another one before I do.
What's the serious one? You want to share your serious one?
Okay, the serious one, I guess. It's not even between the two protagonists. It's between January and her friend, whose name I can't remember.
Shadi?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Basically, they're talking about how it is like to fall in love and everything. And January tells Shady, "That's how I felt when I found you." And I think that's very sweet.
It was
and I think that's very sweet. Yeah, like a cute friendship. I love that.
Yeah. It made me think about like one of my relationships with like one of my closest friends, and I was just like,
yeah, it's so sweet.
Like it was really, really sweet.
Yeah, I love that.
What about you, Sophia? Do you have one?
I liked the part at the end when she was reading her dad's letters. Like, I was just bawling through that whole part. I think there was a line somewhere that was like, if it's a sad ending, like you haven't got to the end yet or something. I can't remember. That's not how she worded it. Like, it was a lot more graceful than that. But like, like I got all the feels, and like just her getting to experience like all the words that her father like had left for her. I just loved that part. I don't have like a funny one, but that was like my favorite.
Honestly, there are so many like funny ones that it's hard to pick only one. I feel like.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I had to pick one, I think it's when they go to like this kind of like drive-through cinema or something.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like that part when they're like making out in the car, like big time, and this lady just comes around with the flashlight. I was dying. Like, it was so cringy, but at the same time so funny. I was like in the bus and I was just giggling to myself like a crazy woman in public. It was so funny. I really, really love that one because I feel like that's the moment when things really start to become a little bit ridiculous. I mean, they're already a little bit ridiculous. They're like in a car making out, but it just it just escalates from there, I feel like, and it was just completely hilarious. So yeah, that was I was just like so embarrassed, but at the same time dying. So that is definitely like my favorite like funny scene. And then my more serious scene is, like you said, Sophia, when she reads the letters. Like I was walking to work. It's funny because when I listen to an audiobook, I know exactly where I was for every single scene. So like if I keep on saying like weird anecdotes, I'm very sorry. But I was like walking to work, and I was just like on the street. It was 39 degrees. I was trying not to cry because I was just like,
Oh,
you're in public right now. Don't cry. Hold it in. But yeah, it was really good. Also, when she writes the ending of her book, like the ending of her book was it was good. I really liked that, and I was just like, I want to read that book. Like, can Emily Henry write that book next? Like, can she do that? I would love it. So yeah.
What about you, Hillary?
So I actually really liked how the first chapter ended, and I remember tweeting about this.
Yeah,
really?
I remember you tweeting about it.
Yeah. I loved the part before Gus and why am I blanking on her name? January started to actually get together, and but you could still feel that spark between them. So they had some kind of weird exchange, like making weird sex comments to each other in like a really sarcastic way. And I really like that kind of banter before the romance really kicks in.
Yeah.
So that is probably my favorite part.
Okay.
Yeah. One thing, this is not related to the favorite part, but when she sees Gus originally at the party, did I like read it wrong, or did she like not recognize him?
I don't think she did.
I don't think so.
Like,
Yeah.
how did you not recognize him? Like he was like your rival. I don't know. I feel like you would.
You mean in his house, when he's in his house and like there's a rave or something?
Yeah.
I think it's because he's on the porch, like the back porch, without a light on. So I think that's why she doesn't recognize him.
Okay.
And then they have kind of like this altercation, and then they meet at the bookstore later, and she realizes that he has the same voice, and she's like, oh shit.
Oh, that's him. Okay.
So yeah, I think that's why.
Okay. I was listening to it in the audiobook, and I was like, how does she not know?
It was confusing. Yeah, I was confused too.
It was a bit confusing. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because it's not logical. Because like you said, they were rivals, and also they had this like very steamy thing at the party like earlier, and so it was just like, how can you forget that you had this like love-hate relationship with your nemesis? Like, so yeah, I totally understand. It must have been a little bit confusing.
Yeah.
I have to pick the next question. Yeah. Yes. Right. Okay, this is kind of similar, but favorite quote. Should we skip that one? Too similar?
I mean, I
don't remember,
but I don't think I did.
I can go because I wrote one down.
Okay.
It was from page 134, and the quote was, "As different as I thought we were, it felt a little bit like Gus and I were two aliens who'd stumble into each other on Earth only to discover we shared a common language, a native language, sorry."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very sweet. Did you have like a least favorite moment? Or, oh, sorry, were you not done with your quotes? I'm so sorry.
No, I'm done. That's
I'm so sorry. I didn't want to cut it short. But yeah, did you have like a least favorite moment? I just really want to talk about the ending actually, because I had feelings.
Yeah, I want to know what you think about the ending because I'm confused.
Go ahead.
So, okay, if I can like have a slight rant for like 5 minutes, I don't like proposals at the ending of books, especially romance, because I think it is way overdone. I feel like the only romance book when I'm just like, okay, there's going to be a marriage proposal is like if I'm reading a Jane Austen, I'm just like, this is fine, this works. But like any
relatable.
other thing, I feel like it just ties it up like way too neatly. You know, like I was listening to the audiobook and I was just like, okay, like this is a really good ending, and then we got to that part and I was just like, no, why? I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I just found it very cheesy. So it was a little bit disappointing for me. I do prefer, like, I am a sucker for an open ending. so maybe that's also why. But I feel like, I don't know, there's a thing about Marriage Proposal that just feels too much like They Lived Happily Ever After for me, which, I'm just.
Yeah.
I also like don't think that was the point. Like the last line of the book is, it was just another good day, a perfect day, a happy for now, so vast and deep that I knew, or rather believed, I didn't have to worry about tomorrow. But then like it's not happy for now. It's like a happily ever after, like cheesy.
Right. Yeah.
Yes,
It
like
was, yeah.
if something else had happened, like just something very simple and sweet, and that was the last line of the book, I would have been like, this is perfect. Like, this is great. But because of the proposal, I was just like, yes, but also, like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a grump, but it was.
No, you're not. Yeah, I actually
not-
agree. It was a bit cheesy, but I also think the book is full of cheesy moments. Like anytime I thought something was cute, I kept thinking, yeah, it's cute, but it's also a bit cheesy. But I mean, I didn't mind that too much.
I mean, it kind of. I feel like it kind of works with the tone of the book, but at the same time,
exactly.
it doesn't, because they're very like they're both very cynical, and at some point they were very realistic characters, and then this happened, and I was just like, it doesn't really fit with their characters, and I was just I don't know, I was just a little weirded out, but maybe,
I get it.
I felt that too.
Also, like his grand like declaration in the rain was so, I feel like, anticlimactic. I don't know how you felt about it, but like he was talking about his ex-wife for way too long.
I know. I'm like, get to the point.
I was like, Gus, please shut up. Should get it together. Like
Oh my god.
did not like it. I didn't really like it, and I feel like all of that chapter was kind of like a build up to that, and then for it to be that, I was just like, I don't know. I just wasn't a fan, and I don't want to just like rant here. So if you have
It's
any,
fine. I mean, it's your opinion.
But yeah, I was just not such a big fan of that part and of the end. But what did you think about like his weird speech?
I thought it was kind of like almost like a parody of like the classic like rom-com, like the guy with like the boombox, you know, like but yeah, I thought like there were too many like cheesy like there was that, and then there was the proposal, and then there were like all these cheesy moments, and I feel like they could have kept with one and just like made it like more fleshed out and special rather than like hopping from like all these cheesy rom-com-y tropes. But
I agree. I kind of like the fact that it was kind of like a parody of, like you said, like the like super grand moments, like in the, and it's like there's music blasting and all that. Like I like that. I like that because it was like just so, like I said, over the top and ridiculous, and you could feel that like he was doing it on purpose, right? But then his declaration when he talked about like, you know, he was just like, yeah, I could imagine myself like getting back with my ex-wife.
Yeah, what was that?
I was just like, what the heck, dude? Like, why are you trying to tell the girl that you love her, and you're just talking about your ex-wife for like 15 minutes? I was just,
I forgot that, but it's true. Yeah, that's weird.
Like, say that afterwards. Like, there's a time and place for that conversation, and it is not now. I don't know. It felt so weird to me, and I kind of like did not forgive him for that. I was angry.
Yeah. But then January is like, oh, but I still love him, and then we end up like swaying in the rain or something. I'm like, really?
I was like, I would have been so offended.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, if he had just said like one sentence, like, oh, I could have imagined myself like being with her again, but that's not what I want at all. Like, what I want is you, or something like that, like along the line of that. Like, it would have been fine, but he just spoke about it for way too long.
Yeah, I agree.
True.
And she's like fully having a panic attack, and he's just like, yeah, my ex-wife in the rain. I was just like, what is going on?
I agree.
That was my frustration about the ending.
I agree. Yeah.
It was just
That's
strange.
a good point. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Was it my turn or your turn, Hillary? I forget what we were on.
I think it's you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's your turn.
I want to ask a question, but I can't remember if I put it in here, so I'm just going to ask it.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So if you had to fan cast, like if you were making a movie of this, who
Oh
would
my
you
god.
play the different people?
I'm
So
Yeah, I was thinking about this as I was doing it because I felt like it would be a perfect movie because it was very like rom-com.
That's true. Yeah.
I was just thinking like, who would I want like as these people?
honestly, I'm so bad at fan casting. Like, I never do it. I don't know how people make them like so perfect. I have no idea. So, like, if you have any idea, please shoot them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I didn't have a great one for Gus.
I didn't
I
either.
could have seen like, have you guys seen Easy A? Like Emma Stone in Easy A?
Oh, I haven't,
Yeah.
but I know which movie it is. Yeah.
I kept getting like vibes kind of like that. Like her life was like falling apart and it was very like, I don't know. I got some of those vibes, but I don't know if like I really see Emma Stone as her, but that was the only one I had.
Yeah, Emma Stone. Yeah,
True.
for her, I don't know. I'm thinking about other rom-com movies that I like, and I think I would choose Reese Witherspoon. For her.
True, that would work.
Yeah, but for him, I have no idea.
Yeah, I
It's so
don't.
hard, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it
I
needs
don't
to
know.
be somebody with like really nice arms and a really nice crooked mouth. Those were pretty much the two things that are like that I could
They
picture about him. Because they were
Yeah.
always repeating. Oh, and also very dark, broody eyes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Like my problem with her writing style, she was always like the author was always describing Gus the same way. Like he had a crooked smile
Yes.
and
Yeah.
a shadow in his eyes, and I was like, yes, we get it.
And it was always repeated
Move
like,
on.
so much.
Yeah, always. Oh,
I
that
totally
crooked
get it.
smile, the crooked mouth, the crooked lips, and yes, we get it. They're crooked. Okay, moving on. And
Get
then
over it. Move on.
and then I had. I'm sorry. As a music student, I have to mention this because
Go for it.
there's this one sentence where Gus says that in order to play the violin, you have to have a hand on your neck, and I was like, a hand on your neck? No, that's not how it works. What are you talking about? No.
But wasn't it like your hand on the neck of the violin, or is it like
No,
on your neck?
no.
Like
Yeah,
actual.
that's what I mean. Like the sentence is not well structured.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
it seems like he's talking about the neck, like your neck. But it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't make
Weird,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that doesn't make any sense.
So yeah, that was my main problem, I guess, with the book. Like it didn't take away my enjoyment or anything, but it made me laugh out loud because I was like, yes, okay, move on, we get it.
Whatever. Yeah, I do feel like I kind of have this problem with a lot of romance book where they're always like talking about like how good looking the main love interest is.
Yeah.
Which I'm just like, okay, like it's fine, whatever, you're obsessed with him. Like, I mean, it's a romance. Like, obviously they're into one another, so like it makes sense. But also, like, it's just at some point it gets repetitive, and we're just like, okay, he's crazy handsome, we get it. Like, we know.
Yeah.
It's okay. But one thing that
Yeah.
was really funny was how she was saying to herself, like, dumb bunny, dumb bunny, dumb bunny.
I know.
I thought that was so hilarious because like it was so relatable. Yeah, I thought that was a funny part of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I really like those parts too.
Yeah.
Because it would always like kind of take me by surprise. Like she would say it again, and I would just like I would laugh all over again. Like, even like if it was the 50th time that she was saying it, I was just like somebody. Like, it was
Yeah.
one of those things that made me laugh.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
All right, Hillary, do you want to go next since I went rogue and just like cheated my dog?
Like a rebel.
Oh, that's so funny. I just pulled the same question about casting. Okay, forget that. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my god. That's amazing.
What are the odds?
Okay, so what did you all think about the side characters, the more minor characters? I liked Pete a lot, and I liked
me
that her
too.
name was Pete.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah, at first I was like, okay, is he a man? Is he a girl? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I really like her.
Yeah, I really like that she was kind of like the owner of the cafe and the owner of the bookstore. Like she just removed her apron and like ta-da, she was the bookstore owner. Like that,
Right.
that was the funny part. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also like the fact that it was revealed that she was like Gus's aunt. Was it? Was it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I like that. Like I was just like, ooh, plot twist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we talk a lot about how the book was kind of predictable, but also there were those moments that were just like, oh, okay, I did not like expect that part or whatever. So yeah, I like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I really liked the best friend. Is it Shoddy?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I really liked their friendship, and I kind of wish like there was more of that, like maybe at the beginning of the book or something, because
Yeah,
she
me
was
too.
just sprinkled throughout. But I thought like their moments together were really special, and like I liked
Yeah.
her as a
Yeah.
character. She seemed like really interesting, and I wanted to know more about her.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and I love how she said that line about how like I'm on a train right now, or like I'm getting on a train
Yes.
tomorrow to
Yes.
get to
Mhm.
January. That was really
First
sweet.
train in the morning.
That's very cute.
That's so
Yeah.
good. Yeah. I also
Mhm.
loved like all of her weird adventures with like the guy with a hat collection. Like I thought it was so funny.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
those popped in there. I don't know. She seemed like really eccentric, and like if she was in it, there would have been like more comedic relief. So it was a funny book, and I enjoyed it. But I felt like she would have added like that element to it too.
Mhm.
True.
Mhm.
Definitely.
What about that? Was it the agent that kept emailing January with all
Oh my
that weird
God.
language? Her emails were
Like-
crazy.
Her
Yeah.
emails were like, I found them so funny to me because I would literally be me if I was a literary agent. Like I was just like, hey. I thought she was hilarious. A little bit over the top, but that's just. I think that's the deal with that book, and I think you just have to roll with it. So I just decided to just do just that, and I thought she was hilarious. So
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like those scenes.
she was definitely a funny part of it.
Yeah.
What did you think about like all of Gus's kind of like tragic backstory?
I thought it was like a little over, like it was a little dramatic, but like
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's why I
Yeah.
asked this question. I was like, spill the tea.
like when
Because,
the ex-wife came to that book signing, I was like, oh god, here we
Oh
go.
God, yeah.
Yeah. What? That was
Yeah, I thought that
crazy.
was a little ridiculous.
Mhm.
That was a stressful situation for sure.
But I think it was a little bit all over the place for me. I don't know. Like suddenly he has all these dramatic past, and I'm like, okay, where did this come from? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I don't know.
for most of it, I was fine with it because I was just like, like every single time I read like about a character, and I'm just like, okay, this is too much. Like you can't like go through a divorce and then your dad was mean to you and like whatever, all of that stuff. And then I'm just like, well, people do really get through all of that stuff like on a daily basis. Like it's
Yeah, that's true.
it happens to some people. So every single time I'm just like, okay, like in a book sense, maybe it's a little bit hardcore. But also, I feel like it can happen to people. So I was just trying to like reserve my judgment. But I do have to admit that like at some points I was just like, okay, like this is getting a little bit. This is like a little bit too much of icing. Like just chill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Is it me next? Sorry, I'm just like okay. All right. I'm like not doing these totally randomly. I'm like seeing ones that I
That's okay.
Okay. So I picked pacing. What did you guys think about it?
Oh my god. I thought it was well done. Honestly, I just couldn't put it down. I feel like
that's true.
That's one of the things that I like the most about it is just like I was so like entranced in the book. I just really wanted to know what was going to happen next. So I didn't really have any issues with the pacing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I agree.
What did you guys think about like when the romance started versus like, do you feel like it was too early, too late, like when they first started like getting together? Or do you feel like it was
I have thoughts about that actually. I
Yeah.
don't know when they started to be romantic. They just started like touching each other a little bit more. And I don't think that it's clear. So like it's confusing to me as a reader. So like I don't know what I think about them.
Yeah.
I think that it was obvious from the beginning that they were like attracted to one another. So I think that like maybe that's why we're just like, when did it start? Because like,
Yeah, good point.
I mean, for January, like the second that he starts just being like more friendly towards her, she's like, oh my god, like butterflies, he's so hot, like whatever.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, that's like so rushed. Like, girl, calm down. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, that's something I was kind of like expecting, because also the book
Yeah,
is
me
not
too.
that long. So I mean, it has to happen. Like things need to start to get down, you know?
Yeah.
So
That's true, but at the same time, I think that there were some parts where we were going around in circles. Like, especially when she found out that Gus was married, she kept saying, "Oh, he didn't tell me. He didn't tell me. He was married. He didn't tell me. He was married. He didn't tell me." And I'm like, "Yes, we get it. He didn't tell you." Okay,
I have
moving
to
on.
agree.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I have to agree that when she finally confronted him about that, I was like, okay, here we go. Like, finally. Just say something.
Yeah.
But also, it was a little bit frustrating that she was always the one trying to like communicate. I mean, it kind of makes sense with her characters. With her character, I mean, Gus is definitely the one who doesn't know how to communicate in between the two. Let's be real. But also, I was kind of annoyed in that sense, because I was just like, can we have some character development for him as well? Like, can he like, you know, start talking or something? And I feel like we did a little bit at the end. So that's why, you know, he was like a little bit like communicating a little bit. And I was just like, okay, this is realistic. This is great. And then he proposes to her like not even a year later. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I felt like there were some scenes where he just like shut down and like didn't say anything. And I'm like, maybe this is realistic. Like he's going through a lot and he's not sure what to say. But also, wouldn't you just say like, hey, I'm going through some stuff right now. Like, let's get together in like a few days, instead of like, I'm just going to ghost you and not say anything. And then, I don't know, it just felt like unnecessary drama to put, just to like have it there, kind of.
Yeah.
I kind of agree. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he just took off and left. And she
Yeah,
was
like,
what's going on? Yeah, I agree that like that would definitely freak me out and make me very angry. So like I kind of wasn't a big fan.
Yeah.
Another question?
Yes.
Okay.
We're already at like 42 minutes. Like honestly,
this hour goes by so fast.
Yeah,
I know. I
agree.
could talk about this book for like 3 hours more. I feel like
I know.
there were just so many things to say.
You can say them, girl.
I feel like we already kind of touched on this a little bit, but this one is any lingering questions or unresolved parts by the end of the book that you wanted to see happen?
I felt like the relationship with her and her mother was like a little open-ended to me. Like
I felt that way too.
Yeah.
I don't know like how they would have gone more into it, but there was like that phone call at the end of the book and it just felt really like rushed. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
I agree, but like at the same time, like I said, I like open endings, so like I didn't really mind it that much. But I do feel like I would have preferred her to have like a real like in-depth conversation with her mom, and then have her and Gus's relationship be more open-ended than it was. But I mean, that's just my personal preference too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah.
Because the book is about that main relationship that they have together. So, I mean, it makes sense that that's what is the priority. So,
Yeah,
I would have liked a little bit more of backstory, like from both their parents, like just know a little bit more about both of them and what happened. And yeah.
Yeah. What did you think, for example, like when you were reading the letters, were you like kind of conflicted? Because I certainly was.
Yeah, I think I was happy that she got them, and I was happy that she got some closure, but also during it, I was kind of like, I don't know, like it's a hard thing to process. Like she couldn't talk to him, she couldn't like have a conversation. It was just all from him, and so she just kind of had to go with it. But yeah, I felt a little conflicted too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there were great letters, and I think that it was really, really well done in the book, but also it's just such a complicated thing to talk about that I don't think that like the author could have done like, I think she did a really great job is what I'm trying to say, in really like making you feel how weird it felt, because like she's angry, but at the same time she wants to forgive her father because she wants closure, but also it's difficult because she's angry at him but she loves him. So I feel like it was very well executed in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I feel like I was conflicted, but it was because she was conflicted, so I think that's a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as well. I think like the point, like the end of the book, it was supposed to be like you're gonna have like mixed feelings. Like not everything is gonna be like wrapped up in a bow.
Yeah, it's not
so
black and white.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Okay, I just picked another one. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say quickly that I randomly remembered how Sonia was mentioned in those letters, and like she was mentioned as being her dad's first kiss, and then he mentioned her again. And I feel like if I were reading those letters, like I would have probably lost it out of rage at that point, and she didn't. So
that scene on the front porch with her and Sonia.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, those were all my feelings in one sound. I was so angry the whole time, and when January finally exploded and just got so mad at her, I was just like, I feel you, girl. Like, get mad. Oh my god, it was a lot of feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah.
Okay. I called favorite character.
Oh.
This is hard because like I feel like we got so much of January and we got so much of Gus, and I was annoyed with them both at certain times. So I might pick like a wild card and just go like Team Pete. I don't know. I just felt like I liked them both, and I think they were both like nuanced, but some of the side characters like added some interesting spice to the story.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was probably January, just because of the fact probably that we were seeing the story through her eyes, and I thought that she was so relatable. Also, I love the fact that she was a writer. I feel like we haven't talked about that yet.
Yeah.
The whole book is about like writing a book and writer's block, and I think that was so smart. Like the whole premise of the story is really, really smart to me. Like the switching genre thing, I thought it was so cool. And also, as someone who doesn't really believe in like the superiority of like literary fiction or whatever, I thought that was something that was really well discussed in the book. Like how she talks about the value of rom-coms and like why they're important to some people and why they should not be looked down upon. I love that about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really love that too. I thought, did you guys read the like reader's note at the end about The Shining? Like she talked about.
Yes. So
she was like, it was Emily Henry, and she's like, I have a friend who thinks like The Shining is a really funny like movie because she sees it as like a whole representation of writer's block, and so
that's an interesting perspective.
So I just thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, that part really made me laugh. That's why I love to read like the author's notes at the end, because you always find some gems in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I think my favorite character would probably be January, because like Sarah said, she's just so relatable. Like when Gus walked into the bookshop and she wanted to dive behind the stack of books, I would totally do that.
Yeah, it was so hilarious. Yeah. What about you, Mary? Who do you think is your favorite character?
I don't think I have a favorite character exactly, because I liked like their relationships in general. Like there wasn't any character that spoke to me in any particular way. I just liked seeing them interacting with each other, basically. but I don't think I have a favorite. Yeah.
I agree. I think the like characters dynamic was like so well
Yeah,
done
exactly.
in this whole book. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I
definitely.
love how Gus is meant to be like this, like swoon-worthy, like handsome, like guy, and we're all just like, no, January.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, because I feel like we didn't have enough of Gus, other than yes, he was handsome and he had a tragic past, and that was it.
yeah. I mean,
I
I
don't
can
know.
understand. Like, I feel like if we had seen like things from his perspective, maybe
Yeah,
I would have
maybe.
liked him more.
Maybe.
But like for the whole book, it was just like a fun love interest to like
Yeah, exactly.
moan about and just like have funny banter.
Yeah.
Also, I really like how the other characters were interacting with him, like his aunt, like how she was like pinching his cheek or whatever. Like
Yeah.
that was really funny because it made him like so ridiculous because he's trying so hard to be this like very broody, dark guy, and like his aunt is just like, hey, like
Yeah, true.
I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, that's cute.
What did you think of the steamy scenes? I need to know your opinion on that.
Again, some of the sentences didn't make sense. I don't think I can get into any specifics. But
we would probably get like
I swear, like
if you were to get into any specifics.
I don't know, like maybe I'm being too critical. I'm sorry, like, but I don't know. I left because I cannot get into any specifics, can I? I probably can't. But okay, to give like a very general example, I think I don't know how to say it, but like in the same sentence, they were in one position, and then half a second later they were in another, and I'm like, whoa, who is underneath? Who is what? What is happening? I was like, oh, that was fast. So, I don't know, like it was weird, but they were fun to read, I guess.
That's what I was wondering because I really didn't mind them, and like listening to the audiobook, I don't know about Sophia, but like it was some parts were like really funny to read in my opinion. Like
yeah, exactly.
Especially like I mean at this point I don't mind listening to that in like public transport anymore. There was a point in my life where I was very, very awkward whenever that would happen, but now I'm just like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah,
it's happening. Woo! Also, it's kind of like that moment where just like, yes, finally.
Yeah.
Like they're getting together and do it. Woo! So yeah, I don't know. It was it was just very funny to listen to. Like, yeah. It's always a funny experience with audiobooks. It's always
I bet. One thing that I did like, it was like they inserted these little awkward moments, I guess, and I like that because I feel like it's realistic. Like it's not just steamy, hot, and everything goes well perfectly. Like, you know, there were these little awkward moments, and I appreciated that.
Yeah, like the run for the condom.
Yeah, exactly. No, but that's true. Yeah.
That was really. It was one of those like kind of overly ridiculous but also very funny moments. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like okay. Yeah, I like that part.
Yeah.
Or also when she says like are your books behind me right now? Is this an ego thing? Like that killed me. I was like, okay, like I love this girl so much. She's so fantastic. I love her. That was very funny to me.
I also like all rom-coms or like all books like this, like the first time things get steamy, there's always an interruption. So I laughed so hard when they were at the drive-in and someone came in with a flashlight. I'm like, this is like my favorite interruption I've ever read.
Yeah.
That one was so awkward, but just so funny. Because they were both like, well, there's nothing we can do about it. So yeah, it was, oh my god. Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Do we have time for one more? It's like
okay, let's do
like 54 minutes.
Is it me or you, Hillary? I
actually don't remember.
I don't think there's a limit, so we're fine, I think. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let me just do one more mine. Okay, so I picked surprising, and like we might have talked about this a little bit, like was there anything that just like really shocked you when it came up?
The entire cult storyline was just like really out of place for me. I didn't care about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not expect it to be like such a huge part of the story, but also I kind of liked it. Like, it surprised me, but I was just like, I was kind of interested in it. Maybe it's just because I find those things interesting, so it didn't bother me that it was just like, boom, like just there in the middle of the book. But I have to admit that it's just a little bit like, okay, like you're gonna add a cult on top of all of this now. Like, but I kind of liked it, to be honest.
Actually, those were like my least favorite parts, I think, because I do find those themes interesting, but I just think they had nothing to do with the book. It was just very random to me. So I don't know. I kind of skimmed through that part because I was like, okay, what are we doing here? But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of made sense for like their kind of like research days or like whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, like learn how to write literary fiction. I don't know how like learning about a cult can help you write literary fiction. Like, I don't know what the direct link is here, but you know,
because it was supposed to be kind of spooky, right? I think.
Spooky or like more serious than romance or whatever.
What did you like when they talked about the end of Gus's book, like how that ended with them like driving on the set? I like cried laughing. I thought that was so funny. Like, his like literary fiction brain like went there.
Oh my god! I thought that was once again kind of ridiculous, but also just kind of funny. And then he's just like, you know, like they were in a good moment and they like didn't know that they were going to die, so it's a happy ending. And I was just like, okay, I kind of get it. But also, like,
it was intense.
Like, what?
I think it made sense, actually. It was random, but it makes sense for his character. I could see him writing something like that. So
yeah,
that's true. But it was just like so out of the blue. But
it was
really funny.
Oh my god! Yeah, true.
Well, it's 57. I feel like we still have so many things to say, but also like we can't stay here for like 3 hours.
An hour always just like flies by.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Like 40 minutes.
That's so true. Yeah.
Oh, I guess I'm just like in my own world here, but I guess we should announce like what the next book is and chat a little bit about that.
Yes.
So
right. True.
Yeah.
Okay. Mary, do you want to talk about it? It was your pick.
Yeah, it was true. I don't know a lot about it.
No, but it's fine. You can share what it is.
So our next book will be The Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu, and I believe it is like an historical fiction / magical realism about Mozart's sister. And that's pretty much all I know about it, but the premise sounded very intriguing to me. It will be on Hillary's channel, actually, at the end of the month, maybe. We are still trying to figure out the date, but we will update everything on Instagram and Twitter. So yeah, that's our choice.
Yay! Our choice for next month. So excited.
Yes,
I'm quite excited. I've never read like any book by her, so and I noticed that normally writes more like sci-fi stuff, right? So like, I'm kind of sure.
I forget what it was called. The one it was like about a video game or something.
Right.
Warcross, right?
Warcross. Yeah. It has like the rainbow letters on the front.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's not the one we're reading though. We're reading The Kingdom of Back.
Yeah, I'm very excited actually.
I'm
really excited to talk about it. Yeah,
you read it already.
Yeah, that's true. Hillary's read it already.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Interesting.
She has insights we do not have.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yay.
So, should we say goodbye for now?
I guess so. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. And we'll see you guys next month on
Hope you enjoyed our renting and in equal parts. I feel like it was half ranting and half gushing, and I love that about us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
All right.
Yay.
Bye,
Okay.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.